I am your host slash vocal coach, Stephanie Thompson, and we have another Facebook session today, Thursday, August 24th. It's so exciting to be back here with you. For those of you who maybe don't know me, many of you do know me by now, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Thompson. I'm a classically trained singer-songwriter, and I'm the Empowering Humanity TV entertainment director as well as the main performer. I have many programs that I do through Empowering Humanity through music, and we've talked about before how music affects you in amazing ways. Now, music can affect you conversely or positively. For example, you never know how music is going to affect you. Like, my mom loves to listen to Johann Sebastian Bach, as many of you know probably. He's a very famous classical composer. She loves to hear those notes, the way that it's just presented in those pieces. For me, it drives me crazy, but she loves it. So music can affect you different ways. You know, some music I really, really enjoy, and some music I don't really consider music. But my mom loves Bach. That's a shout out to you, Mom. She loves Bach, and she's sitting there smiling, saying yes, she does. Also, music is healing. We've talked about that. Did you know that stroke victims who cannot articulate speech can sing and communicate that way? Because it affects different neural pathways in the brain. It's amazing what music can do and singing can do. Last week, we talked about how to promote yourself, how to market yourself through singing. And I had a very special guest, Amy Kardashian, and she gave you a lot of great tips. So if you want to revisit that session, you can go to empoweringhumanitytv.com/Stephanie and see what Amy and I talked about. It was a really empowering, powerful session. And I learned a lot, and I'm sure you learned a lot, and she has so much knowledge and insight to share. And you really want to get knowledge of that. So today, what I want to talk about is how to raise the bar in your singing. We've talked about tools you could use when you're practicing, like you want to have some water, you want to lubricate your throat, right? You can use a metronome to keep yourself on track. You can use a digital recorder to record yourself. You have the mirror to watch yourself and to see how you're performing and how you're singing and how you're using your mouth and your face, where your posture is, all those kinds of things. But if you really want to raise the bar in your singing, say you've gotten to the point where you're like, you know what, I've really aced this singing thing. And I know songs, I sing songs really well, but I want to take it to the next level. What do I do to do that? Well, I'm going to give you 3 tips for that. The first tip is you want to stretch yourself. You want to get out of your comfort zone because you're going to discover things about yourself that you didn't even know you were capable of. Let me give an example. As many of you know, there's a very famous composer named Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Many of you know him just as Mozart. He wrote classical music and operas. His music is incredibly difficult to present because he has runs and fast notes and all sorts of things that can trip you up. When I was early on in my career, very early on in my career, I was pretty young, I was presented with an operatic Mozart piece. And I was so overwhelmed. I thought to myself, you know, we went through it one time with everyone, and I thought to myself, how can I do this? This is really hard. This is really complicated. and I wasn't used to doing them. It was out of my comfort zone completely. And I totally resisted it in the beginning because it made me so nervous and stressed out. But I told myself, okay, if I want to stretch myself, if I want to accomplish what I'm going to accomplish, I need to learn how to do these pieces. So little by little, I took them apart. I got help from my vocal coach, and I started to tackle Mozart. And it felt great. It felt wonderful. And when I accomplished that, and when I finally sang that piece, it was a huge win for me. So first tip is to stretch yourself. And you're going to be amazed at the dividends that are created and the payoff for it. My second tip is don't stretch yourself when you're put on the spot. In other words, if they had presented that Mozart piece to me and said, you're going to sing that tomorrow, that wouldn't have been a good thing. You have to put in your practice. You have to do the work in order to get to the point where you're ready to perform it. For example, when I sang for the Global Charities Foundation with Dr. Rita, she had a song that she wanted to recommend to me called Conga by Gloria Estefan. And again, it was out of my comfort zone. It's a dance song. It's, come on, shake your body, baby, do the conga. And it just jumps all over the place, and the rhythms are all over the place, and it's a very fast song. And I'm used to singing ballads. I'm a ballad lover. So again, I was being stretched. But this time, because my stretching muscles had been used before, I was able to say, okay, this is another point where I can stretch myself as an artist, and I can do something different. And I did, and when I started practicing that song, I started really listening to the rhythms and the melody, and I started really getting into the dancing. I would dance around the room and sing it, and I really felt the emotion of the song and the lyrics. I felt the power behind the lyrics, and I was able to delve into it and really embrace it in a way that I had not embraced a song like that before. So that was wonderful. So that's the second tip. Don't stretch yourself when you're put on the spot. Make sure that if you're going to stretch yourself, you have plenty of time to practice and totally inhale the song and make it a part of you. You know what I mean? And the third tip is you've got to believe that you can do it. Believe that you can perform any song you set your mind to. You just have to take the steps. And it will, the how will appear to you. You just have to take the steps and believe that you're capable of doing. You have a unique voice and you have a unique spirit. And no one else can do what you can do because you're an individual. And you need to believe that. So that is my third tip, believe. First tip, stretch yourself. Second tip, don't stretch yourself when you're on the spot. And third tip, believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. And those are my 3 tips for how to raise the bar in your singing for today. Next week, I'm going to talk about how to overcome stage fright in your singing, part 1. And we're going to meet again next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll be so excited to see you then. From now on, just keep enjoying your voice, keep singing. And if you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, again, you can go to empoweringhumanitystv.com/Stephanie, and I'd be happy to answer whatever questions you have. You can also private message me on any of the things we talked about today or any of the other sessions. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.